the program. My name is Tamás Marác. I work for Danube Institute, and we were talking about a very interesting topic, Central Asia, which is a very important region. We sometimes just forget it. And my guest is an important person, actually the Secretary General of the Organization of Turkic States, which is a unique organization, a regional organization, which really don't know about many things. So can you explain what was the original idea of the founding fathers to found this organization, and what was the thematics of this organization originally?
Thank you very much, Kosunam, for having me and for your interesting and inviting me for this interview, and for your question too. But in your question you say unique. Let me to explain about unique. We're really unique organization because we not unite only our governments, but we unite our peoples. Because we are unique. Why is only intergovernmental international organization is based in for history, culture, tradition, language. Is our organization, but we are together many centuries, and we'll be together, and then we'll be in future also together. But as you know, and in history, if you look back, almost more than 80 years we call is divorce, because during Soviet period time, Central Asian countries and in Caucasus, in Azerbaijan, our Brazil, and Turkey was in abroad. So actually our organization is history is not organization, our people, our nation history is for hundreds, thousand years. But our after collapse Soviet Union, but after taking independence from our states, is our leaders come together in from 90s, but we call that period of time like era of leaders summits, and in 2009 finally is our leaders come together and they created in Nakhchivan in Azerbaijan is under Nakhchivan agreement is our first organization called Turkic Council. Them men of know and then one is our historical summit in Istanbul. In Rio is like Organization of Turkic States, but our actually founder our organization is in Nakhchivan 2009, founded by founder states Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, and Turkey, and the Uzbekistan is Brazil is joined later. Is now is our 5 member states.
And sir, the concept was originally economic cooperation, if I understand, but is it a little bit more than that?
Yes, of course, and first of all, its main goals and the main target is to strengthen mutual trust and the friendship among member states, and promoting peace and the security in region and globally. This is our main. And supporting joint efforts for sustainable development, and preserving and promoting is common cultural and historical heritage is of Turkic peoples, and of course is expanding cooperation and trade, transport, energy, and the other strategic sectors. And the Nakhchivan agreement also laid a foundation for the institutional structure of the organization, including the establishment of our secretariat, and the mechanisms for regular summits and the ministerial meetings, this kind of platform. But today we are cooperating more than 35 areas. It's ranging from foreign policy and the economic and cultural, energy, sport, youth, space, and beyond. And is year by year is increasing, and organization is more oriented for projects. We have many projects, and as you know, our Turkic Organization Turkic States is more than 175 million populations, and 4.5 million square kilometers is territory of our organization states, and is total combined GDP is 2.2 trillion, and the trade turnover is between our organization states, members and observers, $1.1 trillion.
But these states, thank you for mentioning the quantities, but I would be interested in the quality too, that these states are a little bit of a different background, like history, religion maybe, economic, the political institutions, there are different traditions there. So how can you connect them into one unity? Is the Turkic identity enough to hold these states together?
But yes, I earlier mentioned is our Turkic identity, like we are to base in the common join for culture, tradition, language. But this is from centuries we are together. But today's, of course, this is nobody can to take from us. But of course, to more to come more to be stronger, we need to come together and to work together, and especially for economic area. Is also why is in Hungary. Is Hungary also historically is connected with our nations, our states. If you look back, it's oral like our history is in Altai region, and everybody come and from Central Asia, and us, our Turkic and the Hungarian brothers say is we come from this part of the world. And is also in the nice Silk Road, like Middle Corridor, we call Silk Road, is also before, if you're considering by including EU and the others, like alternative roads, now is becoming really very main road. So especially now after these conflicts from north and the other side, so is really history is come back.
Yeah, the historical parallelism I understand, but there's the other point, the present situation, political or maybe the defense sector differences. I mean, Hungary is the observer state in this organization, but Hungary is an EU member, a NATO member. Turkey is a NATO member, and your country, you are a Kyrgyz man. Kyrgyzstan and Kazakhstan is a very close ally to Russia. So I just I wrote down 3 organizations. You are part of it. The Shanghai Cooperation Organization is a political one. Collective Security Treaty Organization is a defense one. And Eurasian Economic Union, you are part in it, which is a economic. So 3 layers of cooperation with the eastern states, China and Russia. How do you handle these different traditions of member states to keep them united? How do you solve this visible contradiction here?
But look, Hungary also is member of many international organizations, including EU, NATO, and the others. Intergovernmental organization, and same thing like in Shanghai Cooperation is actually it's not only Kazakhstan and the Kyrgyzstan, but Uzbekistan too is there. All of them 3 is under of this Shanghai Cooperation. But this is another cooperation because intergovernmental organization is also very important to our member states, like for Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, and Uzbekistan, because there is a location in Central Asia, and the China and the other, you mentioned Russia is historically also have some connection. But security and for economic trade to issue this is also important organization. For example, you mentioned Eurasian Economic Union, which is yes in the Russia, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Belarus, and Armenia. This is another economic intergovernmental organization. But OTS is completely, of course, different. And as I earlier mentioned, is our goals also very clear. And I mentioned about we need to promote and provide our cultural and other heritage to next generation. This is why we're unique and we are together. But of course, is Turkey also, Brazil, Turkey, they are also a member of NATO, and they are also, they have a member and the founder another regional organization. But of course, some regional intergovernmental organization is very successfully working. Someone is, from beginning is very slow. But in our case, is our organization is Turkic State again is unique because it's based in history, in culture, tradition, and the language. Is this way we are very close, not only uniting again by our governments and our peoples, but we need to, how can we unite in our governments and our peoples? So is our tradition, culture, language is yes. We need to also to promote and to keep our heritage, but same time mostly go for economic. Without economic growth, you cannot to move ahead. So this why just during my speech at Danube and keynote speech in Danube Institute, I give some examples, like how is between Hungary and our countries is economically growing. Just a couple years ago was just 2 billion. Trade turnover was 2 billion, now $6 billion US dollars. Look, it's also in opening embassies from our member states in here in Budapest, or Hungarian is in our capitals, is also in one is main indicators. How is this members and observers work together closely?
I mentioned this because Hungary is part of the Western Allies, and your country and the rest of the OTS countries belong to the Eastern organizations. But does it mean that maybe the OTS can be a bridge or a gateway between East and West in the future?
Yes.
And maybe it is already.
Yeah, is this why we call all West and Hungary is to bridge between East and West, and including is very successful now is working is our office in Budapest, European office, which also supporting and providing fund by Hungarian government, is also main goals and purpose is to create bridge between OTS countries and Europe. And of course, bilateral is no problem. Everyone have strategic level partnership with many European Union, including EU, because in the Central Asia, EU, this kind of platform, Central Asia, US, Central Asia, China, Central Asia, others, this kind of many platforms they have. But is our platform is again is unique. So is each country's independence country, they can join to any to other intergovernmental organization, because national interest is first. But of course, in our case, is again multilateral interest is also on top agenda, because it's Brazil countries and the rise in volt is change daily. So integration process is growing. So without integration, nobody can do it. Nothing. So knowing the world like power or some one or two countries cannot to do something without integration process. So this why is our organization is again unique is for this issue. The hope we are young, just 15 years old, and then we celebrate 15th anniversary last November, and I hope is our organization is future.
Yeah, and can you tell finally about Hungary, that what is the special status of Hungary in this organization? Because Hungary has a declared strategy, it's called connectivity, which means like being a keystone state between East and West, economically, strategically. How do you see Hungary's position in the organization?
And I would like to use in Prime Minister's statement what he says. This strategic for East and West in 2010, he says, the way under raising Western flag, but is when it's coming from East. So this why is this kind of bridge between East and the West is really Hungary now successfully is implementing this their strategic documents. Of course, we have own strategic documents like Turkic Vision 2040 and our strategy document 2022-26, which is all this kind of goals and including, and we step by step is providing this our implementing our goals. But upcoming informal summit in next month in Budapest is also showing how is closely and very actively is working and under OTS is our states. And as Hungary again is observer states, but Hungary is very active playing role in our organization.
So my last question is about Hungary and your organization too. Do you think that Hungary's most interest is economic aspect, to find a good marketplace in Central Asia? This is the main reason Hungary is getting close to you. And is your interest primary is that Hungary is a EU and NATO member, very close. This government is very close to Mr. Trump, so can use Hungary as a gateway to the Western Hemisphere? Is there a reason?
But of course, but another, and I already mentioned, is our Central Asian countries have each one many strategic partnership with many Western countries, including the United States or many European countries. Again, is they have Central Asia plus United States, Central Asia plus EU, Central Asia, other, the many, including some Europe countries. But of course, again, is national interest, of course, first. But Hungary also have interest in our region because it's firstly, of course, without economic to close relation, we cannot to develop our like culture and the others and heritage issues. So first is economic. This is number one, is from both sides, for member states and the Hungary. And this why is through this economic development, we can do it together a lot. And our motto is we together strong. So this why, if we will be together, we'll be strong in everywhere. So, and first of all, of course, in the economy and the security issue, But now it's again, world is changing deeply.
Secretary General, thank you very much for the conversation.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, and thank you for the attention. We continue. Bye-bye.